from de novo. Full practice management software built for modern law firms. Your practice performance matters.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome along to another session of CaseLoad coaching. For anyone joining us for the first time, my name's Grant Ure. I'm the head of marketing at de novo. As always, I'm here with our operations director, Stephen Hill. This week and in this session, we're going to be focusing on email management functionality within CaseLoad. It's something we have touched on before, and as some of you will already know, with CaseLoad's Office 365 Outlook integration, you can unlock tools to sync and customize client communication. Today, Stephen will take you through all the latest updates to email management. You'll have the opportunity to see how powerful the tool can be and receive some insight into exactly how the system can help you manage your email correspondence better. So we're going to go into this quite quickly. So before I hand you over to Stephen, I just want to remind you that, as always, please feel free to type in any questions you have throughout the session. We will have a Q&A straight after Stephen has finished. So by all means, send us anything at all. Stephen, over to you.
Thanks, Grant. So I'm just going to look up the learning objectives to start with. So we'll run through what we're going to show you in the software. So we're going to start off with looking at importing from Outlook on the main window view, talking directly to Office 365. So within the CaseLoad application, you're able to bring emails into your matters and jobs straight away without having to even access Outlook from that window. Going to explain what the reference on emails is about, why it's important to keep that in the subject line when sending and receiving emails, as it allows us to auto-import into the matters. Then touch on accessing other folders within your Outlook, so beyond your inbox, looking at sent items and any subfolders. We'll then look at what the multi-drag and drop does, so allowing you to select multiple emails and clicking on them to import them in against the selected matters. We'll then move on to looking what the integration then looks like at individual matter level. So you're a wee bit more specific with what the window then looks like. We'll show you some of the time recording features from within there as well. We'll then see what the imported emails then look like in terms of the events view. And from that events view, we're going to look at sending emails both on the right-click options and also looking at the sending emails from the documents view with the ability to send multiple attachments to selected recipients. So I'm just now going to move over into what the CaseLoad software looks like in terms of the import from Outlook button. The import from Outlook button looks like this, and it does appear in several areas in the application to give you more opportunities to save your emails. Clicking on the button will load your mailbox, so you see it's now going to retrieve the latest updates. This is live as of now, so anytime you do a new refresh of that button, it will search for the most recent items for you and show you everything that's just received live. If you're looking for some more emails, there is the refresh button just above that on the top left. That will then resync the mailbox and look for any more that have came in since the previous refresh. We'll look at the lead section as well shortly, just to show you what you can do on that, to give you the different view as to how you would import your emails against leads. So you'll see in here, we'll just run through this window here and just show you exactly what you can do on each side of it. The tick box selection is always visible. That allows you to select the emails that you would want to be saving against individual matters. We have the usual filtering on here. So if you're looking to filter on the date or who the email's from, you'll see when we click on from, we've got selected recipients in there. So these are the ones that have sent me the most recent emails. And we've also got the subject line and the description email subject. The other icon you'll see in there is the eye icon, which allows you to preview the content of the email in this window. So that allows you to gain some context into the email to know that's the correct email that I'm looking for, and allow you to then select the matter that you would want to save it to. On the right hand side, so there's two sides to this pane really. Left hand side, email information. Right hand side, the software back end application. Where are we going to be saving these emails to? Who are we going to be saving them against? So you see the context. When we're on the main accounts window view, the context defaults to matters. Majority of cases, you're going to be saving emails into individual matters. So that's the default context in there. If you're looking to change that and you do want to save something at maybe client level or even lead level from here, the context window will change here and allow you to do so. You've also got the option to select to your recents and favorites. We have touched on that in previous episodes. The recent will display the most recent matters you have been in recently, and the favorites are the ones you would have been selected as favorites. Event status, you're largely not going to change, to be perfectly honest. That's defaults to actual event, and you're always just about always going to save an email with the event status as actual event. Event type, again, that's set up as a system preference default, so that we've got that set in here for letter, email, fax received. That's typically going to be in the majority of cases what you want the event type to be as you save the email. If you're looking to make a different selection from there, you can do so in the drop down, and all your normal event types and subtypes that you have associated with events will show there to be selected. If tagging switched on, we did touch on that as well. You can have the ability to tag the emails at this stage as well. So if you're looking for an individual email and you want to tag it as something, you can do so from that drop down there as well. Two options exist in here for having the ability to import the emails. I'm going to move to my sent items here. So I'm going to change from the inbox view to the sent items view. So you'll see that's just refreshed, and you'll see the majority of the emails I've sent here have gone with a reference. That means I've sent them from the CaseLoad application, and the CaseLoad tracks that. So you can see most of them have the reference alongside the matter description as the default subject, because that's what we prefer the emails to be sent from. Reason being, as we select multiple emails here, so I'm just going to pick a few as an example, just to highlight the ones that do have the green tick have already been saved against the matter. So I'm not going to select any of those ones. I'm going to pick these two here, which have a reference. You see they're going to different matters. That one's for a conveyance and purchase. That one's for a court case. And I'm going to click and I'm going to drag them across. So you'll see what's happened very quickly is it's imported two emails. I hadn't searched for a context. I hadn't searched for a matter in the box here. CaseLoad knows from the application these emails were sent because of the reference, which matter they should be associated with, and it saved them automatically against those matters. And if I now do a refresh, you'll see those two now show with the tick, so I know that they've now been saved in the system. Subfolders will appear further down, so if you are looking for subfolders, they will be available further down in that drop-down list. Going back to the inbox view, you'll see I've got a couple of emails here that don't have a reference. So what I'm going to do is search for the particular matters that these relate to. So you'll see I've got this executory one here. So I know that's the email I'm looking for, and I can click and drag that in to that matter. At this point, because I'm importing one email, I do have the ability to change the event summary. So the event summary defaults to what the subject line is in the address, but if you're not looking for that to be that address, you see you can overtype that on an individual email and save that into there. So what that's now doing is importing that email, but the event that's associated with that email will have that new subject line in there. So this one's got a reasonably large attachment, which I'm going to show you on the events view. So when the email has a bit more information in it in terms of attachments or images, it can take a wee bit longer to import. The ones you've seen previously were just straight email correspondence. These ones that have a bit meatier attachments can take a wee second longer. So if we now go to that matter view, just to show you, look at events, you'll see there's my subject line that I've just changed the email in from. There's the details of the email, and the report is now attached with the email description here. Looking at the multi drop down, I can then look at those reports that have came in and go through that report. Can obviously maximize the window to get a bit more clarity on the attachment, but we're allowed, you can see that the attachment's now imported along with that email. Anytime we change the context up there, so if I did want to change to lead level and do a search, you'll see it's got all my leads there. So we've moved away from the matter description area, and we're now looking at the lead option there. So again, it would just be a case of ticking the box. So we'll click that one there, click, and we'll drag it into that one there. We'll not reset the email subject this time. You'll see that just quickly imports the email against the lead as well. So really easy ways to import the emails against any of the contexts in terms of matters, contacts, and emails. And you can do the same from lead level as well, as I said. So if you're in the lead section and you do import from Outlook, you'll see it does default to leads and allows you to do that selection there as well. If we then go to an individual matter view, so I'm just going to pick this one down here. Excuse me. So you'll see we're in the main matter window, and one of the first options we have on the top menu bar is import from Outlook. So clicking on that brings us the same style of window box that you've seen before, but we're now able to select individual emails or multiple emails, and they will automatically be associated with this matter. So there won't be any selection required. It will just default and save them in there. So if I pick that one there, and you'll see what I was saying earlier on regarding the time recording side of things. If you do want to post your time against emails, that either that emails in or emails out, we do have the post time option in there, and it will have a few defaults in there in terms of the fee in there associated with the matter. The activity code, you can select from that to select the one that you would want to do. So we'll just leave that as the non-chargeable, and we'll just send that as email. So you see it's going to automatically save that email with the time recording charge. So if we were to pick a chargeable category, it would come up with the job charge there as well. So when we click post time, it's not posted the time at this stage. We still have to post this email in here. So because we've selected an email, you see the post time box is now checked, but it's not until we import the email that the job charge gets updated. So on that splash screen that's just went across the screen there, it did say, believe me, it did say, importing email, importing time charge, and updating. So it does all of that. We just want it to be as quick as possible, so you don't tend to see that information on screen as you go through that. And just like before, there is the folder option up the top to select different folders in there. So if we're looking to look at the sent items, you'll see anytime I change any of these selection windows criteria, it does update them. So the subfolder there that I've only got the one item in, you'll see it's able to change between those and update the ones that it's updating. Some people have different behaviour. The reason we have the subfolder option in there, as there could be Outlook rules in place that automatically save emails to a subfolder as they come in. So you won't always have the opportunity to have them in your inbox. So we've got the subfolder option in there to allow you to select those windows and have the ability to save any emails that you need to save in there. So I'm just going to maximize this window here and show you a few options. So this event here has multiple attachments. So when I right click on the option, you'll see there's quite a few options in here for sending emails from this particular event. And I'm just going to explain a few of the options just now. The 2 blank email options you see, they can be selected if you're looking to send this email with either multiple, with the attachments, or without this information here. So anytime you put any information in here, and you see this one here has some email subject lines, if I was to choose that one there and say I'm going to send this email here, but I'm going to send it as a blank email, it's going to give me the select recipient options. So just explaining what that is, anytime you send an email from the events view, the select recipient options will look at any email associated with the main client email account, which is the top one, any one that has been added as a matter contact, so these 2 options here, and these further options, the ones that are tagged as company emails, so they have been associated with either a court address, a bank address. You may have third-party insurance details in there as well if you're dealing with somebody else in an RTA, for instance. So anytime that you link a company and have an associated email account, this comes up in the select recipients options window. And then finally, you can see we've got any other email addresses that are associated with the client contact. So what we're trying to do with that is, from this matter, find any reason that there may be a reason to send an email to one of these recipients. They will show in the selection box, and you're just basically ticking the ones that you want to send to. So if we wanted to send to that matter contact and that client contact, we'll click OK, and it will bring up the email to send to them. So you see that it selected both email addresses with the reference. As I said before, the reference is very important, not to alter, move, or remove the reference in there. It just gives us the ability to then either import the email, or it just gives us much more clarity as where the email has come from. So when we then send the email out from CaseLoad, it knows that that's been sent from that reference. So that one there had nothing on it. It was only a blank email with the attachments. The other options you'll see, if we take the ones with attachments there, with those forums, you see we can email the event with attachments. So what that does is bring up the same matter recipients window box, and you'll see very familiar with that, but it's now got the details of the email. So what I could have done in there is, if I wanted to have pre-typed out what I was going to say in this email, that would have been in the details bar down the bottom. So it's brought through the information from there, along with all the attachments that we've got associated with this particular event. So you see there's quite a few on this one. Again, all the information has been brought through in terms of the email recipient, the reference, matter description, and allows us to then send that email out with all of that information in there. So that one in particular is now gone. All those attachments sent out from that particular email event. If you're looking for, so say your email, your event, sorry, doesn't have any attachments associated with it, you see we've got some options in there to add further email and attachment information, whether that be import from Outlook. So what import from Outlook does is it brings in the attachment on any of the event emails that you see. So these ones here, this event here at the top, as the one we just sent just a second ago, but it has all of those attachments attached there. That one there has one attachment there. So say if that one had been a scan that we wanted to import, you see we can import that. And then if we look at the attachments view, we now have that email, that PDF that we've just brought in. So you'll see on the attachment view, we do have import from files, import from Outlook, and import from this matter. So import from Outlook we've just done and brought in that PDF. Import from files, we'll look at your desktop. So if you're looking to, if you've scanned something to your desktop or save some documents to a pen drive, you can pick them up from here as well and just select the ones that you want to attach. The other option is import from this matter. So what this does is it displays the document view that we have. So this one here, you'll see a lot of them are related to that, that event that we've just sent with all those attachments. As we go further down, you'll see we can preview other emails in there to see different pieces of information. So all the way down to that one there, we've got that individual 3-page letter. So maybe we want to add that one to this particular event. So you'll see we've now got that this event now has both attachments that we can then email out to the client. So if we then click on the email event, so we're back at the matter view window here. We click on email event with attachments. We select the appropriate recipients. And you'll see it's now got both attachments with the details of the email to send out. So I do appreciate there is quite a few options in there when we do select that, but I think when you get, you do get a preferred way of working with this, and that allows you to see all the different methods that we have in the system to be able to email events out. So if we go back to the other option in there is the reply by email option, which I'll just explain. So reply by email allows you to, so we click on reply by email, we'll choose to do one without the attachment. So we know this event has some attachments, but we're not going to bother with them. You can pick on the contact within there, and you'll see it just opens up a main Outlook window and allow you to then start to type your reply out from there. So from there, we've got the email description. You see email to client, just quickly type that in and send that out. So because it's so deeply linked with Outlook, anytime you perform an action from CaseLoad that has that email icon, it will perform that, so it will create that email or add those attachments, but it will bring everything from CaseLoad and send it to Outlook to then send on to the client. So we go back to the main window view. You see that's just updated that further email that I've just sent. So in real time, it's refreshing the events view every time a bit of correspondence goes back and forth with the client. So you see those have that's now gone out, the one that I've just sent there with the line email to client. Because we've got the reference on it, it's automatically importing against that particular event and sending that out. The other view I wanted to touch on is the the documents view. So the documents view is slightly different from the events view in that the events view lists all the events. So if the one event has multiple attachments, it will list it as a single event. You see here on the documents view that every single attachment gets listed individually. So if you're looking to flick through to have a visibility of each individual attachment, you see you do have that option to be a bit more selective as to what you would maybe want to be emailing out. So this one here, we might not want to send all of these documents in the one event. We may want to be a bit more selective. So if we click on the email icon, you see on the left-hand side the tick boxes now appear to allow you to select the documents you want. So I might decide that I want that one there because I've previewed that and that's the letter I'm looking for. I then might want to look and see for that previous letter there with some information on it. I'm going to select that one. I then might want to look at something that was attached to a different event, say this document down here. So I've selected 3 documents, 2 from one event and 1 from another event. And if I now go back to the email documents option and select the recipient, you will see it's pulled in the 3 documents required from the selection that I've created. If I wanted to select more documents, I could have added more in there, but that allows you to see the ability to be a bit more selective with the the attachments you would want to select to be sending out at the appropriate stage that you would want to. So that one's now gone as an event as well. So the last thing I'm going to touch on from this week, what we've got in CaseLoad is the ability through smart events to have email templates in the system. Email templates allow you to have pre-populated email style templates. So in the same way that you have style templates at the document production level, you can create email style templates at the lead level or even the accounts level. So individual matters. The example I'm going to show is at the lead level. So we've had this inquiry in from Craig, and I'm going to send them out some information. So on the new button, I'm going to do a new event, and I'm going to choose the event subtype as leads, and I'm going to select additional dwelling supplement because that's the information he's requested. So that's what I'm going to send him out. So on that, I'm just going to add that as the summary, and I'm going to click save and exit. So this is going to build an email for me. So see, it already knows who to send the email to, what the description was. So that would either be the matter description or in this instance, the lead description. We've got an attachment in there that we've pre-styled to be attached to this event. And we've got some information in there. So none of this information I've had to type out. It's all there and it's all typed out for me in this, this smart event. So if I then send that email out to Craig from the system, then look at the events for this one, you'll see there's my event there with details of the email being sent and the attachment. So that's all gone out. So that could be a brochure of information about services if you're sending it at lead level, or you could, in most instances, at the beginning of a matter, you will have similar information that you would send out each time. So that can exist as smart events as well. So you can see from this here, we've got a follow-up event as well, created automatically from the smart event. So the email's gone with the information, and we've decided to set in the system that within 3 days, you can set different criteria in there in terms of reminders and follow-up events. But from that smart event that we've just selected, within 3 days, we've got a planned event to follow up on that lead to maybe chase for information or make a decision on whether they want to go ahead with the service or the quote that's been provided. So when we exit out of there, we're just back at the main lead level. But that's pretty much me for this week. So I hope that gives you a good flavour as to what the options are in terms of emailing out from the system or importing your emails in to CaseLoad as well from your Office 365. If anyone has any questions moving forward, we will have obviously a Q&A just now, but also have the option to send anything in to me or any of the team regarding any part of the system that you're unsure about or need any help on. Back to you.
Thanks very much for that, Stephen. That was a great overview. It doesn't look like we've had many questions in. Hopefully that just means that your demonstration was absolutely perfect.
There's a trend coming here.
So that's fine. But as Stephen said, as always, we're available for a chat anytime. So if you would feel more comfortable getting in touch with us to have a bit more of a chat about email management or any of the features of CaseLoad at all, of course, just drop Stephen or the team a line following on from the session. Ask any additional questions you may have, or if you're keen just to get a bit more of an in-depth virtual demo or kind of video meeting to discuss anything to do with CaseLoad, please feel free to get in touch with us. So this session, as always, has been recorded. It'll be available to watch tomorrow, just around about the same time, around about 3:30 on the website. We'll ping an email out to everyone with the link, so you can watch it back at your leisure. It'll live on our website and on YouTube going forward. So that's the end of this week's session, folks. I'd like to thank you all for joining us. We will be back next week as well. And we will get some information out to you about the features that we will be focusing on in that session. So enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you very much.